And now, staying in the context of talking about plans, talking about the future, here we have another very important structure, going to. Do you remember we just looked at will? I will, you will, we will. We use will, the difference between will and going to is what we're looking at here. We use will when we make immediate decisions, spontaneous decisions, decisions that don't cause much consequence. For example, if somebody says, I'm hungry, another person might say, okay, don't worry, I will get you a sandwich. Spontaneous action, a spontaneous response, a spontaneous decision. You don't have to sit down and think, will I get him or her a sandwich? Maybe I won't get him or her a sandwich. You see, it's just a spontaneous decision. And there's no big consequence. It doesn't cost thousands of euros, thousands of dollars. It's a simple, immediate action. But when there's a decision involved, then we use going to. So every time we're talking about something that involves a decision, let's put an example here. We are going to, for example, buy a new car next week. Well, here we're talking about a good lot of money. So it's a big decision. So you wouldn't just say, I will buy a new car next week, because that would be too casual, too spontaneous. Unless you're a super billionaire, maybe, well then yes. But in a normal context, for most of us, buying a new car is a big thing. It's a big moment, and it involves a lot of money. So we think about it, we look at which car, what type of car, the prices of the different cars, and then we make a decision. So then we can say either we are going to buy a new car next week, or we are not going to buy a new car next week. But basically, the going to is used when there's a decision. So going to has much more certainty, much more strength than will. Going to is connected to a decision being made. So after the decision, you use going to. Let's make another example here. We are going to, let's use travel. We are going to travel to someplace. For example, we have decided, we made the decision, and that's why I can tell you now with certainty, we are going to travel to Buenos Aires next month. We want to have a holiday. We are going to travel to Buenos Aires next month. Okay, so we made a decision. We would not say, we will travel to Buenos Aires next month. It's too informal, too casual, and it doesn't have the weight, the strength of a decision. Now, of course, all these can be used in the negative. Let's just give the examples here. I or we are not going to buy a new car next week. Basically, we decided with a decision that we are not going to buy a new car next week. Or we are not going to travel to Buenos Aires next month. We decided we are not going to travel. Okay? Going to and will, in this case, going to, and remember, going to is always connected to a decision.